Hey guys, Drifter here. It's been a while since I've done a Madness episode, and you guys have been requesting one, so I figured why the hell not? In this Madness episode, you're going to see me use the Crossbow with some theater mode stuff going on, yeah, like with this grenade thing right here, and then it's a little bit short, so I'm going to swap over to ACOG M16, not ACOG, Infrared M16, much more challenging, not so much theater mode, a little bit of speed ramping to skip over the boring parts, but the gameplay in these videos is never really the central focus. The focus is always the story, or whatever it is that I have to talk about, because anybody can do this theater mode thing. My grandmother can do this, not all that interesting, blah blah blah. Let's talk about dreams. For those of you that didn't watch my Epic Dream series, you should probably click that first link down in the description. That's going to take you to episode 1, and the rest of this will make a lot more sense. If you haven't watched that, you're probably going to be kind of confused from here on in, but that's your business. You can just be confused if you want to. Maybe it'll make it more exciting. Instead of telling a story about dreams, I'll talk about a place that I'll call the Safehouse. This is actually relatively new development in my head, but quick summary for those of you that decided not to watch the video. I have semi-lucid dreams in which I'm always being tortured by an individual that I've named Mr. Shadow, which is actually just a fragment of my consciousness, a Jungian shadow, as a matter of fact. You can Google that or Wikipedia that if you want to, but I'm almost always waking up somewhere horrible in some sort of horror movie, not a specific movie, but zombies, nightmare, apocalypse, end of the world, torture chamber, any crazy scenario, aliens. If you can dream it, I've probably had a dream about it, unfortunately, and much, much worse ones. But there is a place in my dreams that is constant. The dreams always change. It's always a different place. It's always a different scenario, different people, a different theme, a different overarching theme if I dream for more than a couple of weeks. But there's one place in my dreams that I've been to more than once, and one place that I've actually been able to find, to force to come to light, to come to be, and it's a place that I call the Safehouse. For those of you that don't live in the South or the Southeast United States, we suffer a lot of tornado attacks here. Not tornado attacks, just really bad thunderstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, the like. So every, I would say, month or two around here, there's always the fear of being totally blown away. And it's always been one of my dreams in life to have a house with a basement in it. And in my dreams, occasionally I have a nightmare or a dream about a storm, and more often than not, or even sometimes just in my normal house, it's the same wherever it is I live, except there's an extra door, like, say, it looks like a pantry, but when you open it, it leads underground, like toward a cellar. If you've ever seen an old country wine cellar or jam cellar or preserve cellar, something kind of like that. The walls, clay, shoddy brick, what are those kind of things? Just 2x4s, something like that. Stairs that lead down, I would say, about 1 story, and you open it up, and it's a basement. It's a legit, full-fledged basement, you know, 10 by 10 cube cut in the ground. But then in the further back corner, there's yet another door. And when you open up this other door, you notice that there's a much older room constructed, a much usually more wooden, more rustic and rusting kind of room, deeper underneath. Not a whole story, this one would be about half story deeper, but it looks like somebody went through the effort to kind of board it up. And this is always a safe place in my dreams. Every time there's a dream about a storm, there's always the storm shelter, I can go there. Every now and then when I dream about zombies, I can usually find that place. And I didn't even realize this. It took me a very long time, years as a matter of fact. It just occurred to me a couple of months ago when I had a dream, a particularly bad dream. I believe it was about giant insects that bled acid when you killed them, and I did something and pissed them off, and there was like this giant acid storm coming, and I was trying to get safe, so I ran into the subbasement, the safe house. I think I called it the subbasement. That's normally my name for it instead of the safe house. Yeah, look at this guy, Noob Vision. I feel like an idiot for being killed by this guy. And I told my fiance about it, and she asked me if there was anything special about this safe house, just right off the bat, and I don't know why. I don't know what words I used to describe to her to make it more interesting, and I said, no, it's just a couple of stories underground, and it was sinking into my head that this is a place that I've been several times before. I thought about another dream about tornadoes, where when I was running for them, I opened the door and I run to the exact same room. Thinking further back, I boarded up in that room, hiding from zombies, and further back than that, I think I checked it out when I was dreaming that I was shopping for new houses, and that was just one on the real estate market, and I just kind of happened to like it because I thought the subbasement was the coolest place in the world, as I'm big in urban exploration and all that sort of stuff, so I thought it was really cool looking. But the thing is, I never opened up, I believe it was the third door. The third door I never opened. I didn't know what was down there, what was beyond that. And when my fiance asked me if there's anything special about this place, and I realized that in my head there actually was something special about this place, I decided to check it out the next night. When I was going to sleep, I made sure to think about the sub-basement or safe house as I was falling asleep. And sure enough, when I fell asleep, I dreamed that I was in the middle of downtown Starkville, Mississippi, where I live and go to school at Mississippi State University, and that inside one of the buildings, I just knew that there was a safe house. I walked past all the people there like they weren't even there, walk into the building like I own the place, nobody said anything. And I opened the door, walked to the back, and there's the same door that normally leads to the sub-basement. Open that, everything's fine. Go down 1, 2, 3 layers into the sub-basement, or no, I apologize. First basement, second basement, and I'm facing the third door, the third old rusty door. I open up the door, and well, it's kind of odd. How do I describe it? It's like an old mine shaft. It leads into a very, very long hallway. Think prison escape tunnel, Russian gulag mine shaft, abandoned gold rush mine shaft, like a very old underground, smugglers could use it, tunnel. And it seemed to go on for about 400 to 500 yards, and oddly enough it was lit. There were actually 1 or 2 working light bulbs in there that looked like they hadn't been touched since 1905. And I walked down to the sub-basement. It had kind of an arc. It dipped in with a little crest in the middle. I would say, yeah, I don't know, like a 5-10 degree little arc. Think of a circle arc. And down there at the very, very bottom, at the very tip, there was an old wooden box that was locked. It had, think about a locked treasure chest, more or less. A little shabby, chain lock, padlock. I couldn't pry it open. I took a look at it. I thought about opening, but I couldn't figure out how to open it. I didn't know what was in the box, so I put it back down and decided to keep going down that tunnel and see where the tunnel led. The tunnel led all the way to another set of buildings at the other side of town and came up back through there, and there was just nothing else. There was nothing else in the sub-basement except an alternate entrance or an exit and a locked box. And I never could open the box. I don't know how. I don't know what's in it. I don't have the tools. So that's kind of on my to-do list in the next couple of months. If I ever go back to the sub-basement, I'm going to try and open that box and see what's in there. I honestly have no clue. You guys can make suggestions, but it's all conjecture at this point, and it's kind of unusual to have something locked away in your head that you can't figure out. I guess I should try a little harder. I got a little bit of extra time here, so I'll tell you a story that kind of scared the shit out of me. Just recently, I was sitting here playing Xbox, and my dog, Ozymandias, totally flipped his shit and just started barking and growling like crazy. About 10 seconds later, boom, the power went out. Totally dead. I immediately grabbed a flashlight and my machete and started hunting around the house trying to see what in the fuck was going on.